Hello there, it's your Starlight Rainbow Eagle here. I love you. I've had something happen to me that I wasn't expecting. I woke in the 11/11 portal 2018, and shortly after that, um, I was robbed at knife point, attacked in my house. The guy broke my doors down. He had been staying there, and I pulled a shotgun on him. He was supposedly buying my business. I had a cannabis grow at that time. And I backed him out the door, and then the police got there. The police took me to jail, called me out in the front yard. I had to lay down in the mud in my pajamas, aimed 6 guns at my head, and took me to jail and left that guy in my house with everything I own, including my dog. And it was and then I went to jail for a month, got out, and I've been homeless ever since. I had to move out of my house. $31,000 worth of things were stolen. They wouldn't even investigate the case, of course. They didn't investigate anything when they were there when the guy attacked me. He didn't even have anything in the house anymore. And just gave him my life, basically. And they're wanting me to go to trial. I'm facing 4.5 years for pointing a shotgun at a guy and who had a knife on me. He came at me 4 times, and I didn't shoot him. I jumped back each time, but I was at the point where I was going to pull the trigger. And I looked him in the eye as I pulled the trigger, and he ran before it fired. Honestly, that's exactly what happened. And anyway, I'll just give you a shot of the beach of the dunes here. This is where I'm sitting. This is my camp. After 2 years homeless, I've been living on the beach in Texas now, so I wouldn't freeze to death waiting on this trial for 2.5 years. Denied housing, all that stuff. I'm not playing the blame game. I just have had a premonition of my death. And it was approximately a year ago. And when I got to South Padre Island, I started seeing the bridge and riding the bus that was in the dream. And in the dream, it ran off of the freeway between Padre Island, Texas, and Port Isabel, Texas, which is a high over the waterway. And you know, I saw the whole thing in my dream, and I recognize these places. I ride that bus now. Anyway, and I'm not doing this because I absolutely believe I'm going to die. I'm doing this because if I do, it's going to touch a lot of people, for one thing, and that there's a purpose behind it. Not just some homeless guy that bit the dust. I've touched a lot of people's life. I've stood up for honesty in a world that's dishonest. Since I awoke, I've held to my integrity and changed. You know, I talk to the Spirit. I talk to Mother, Father, God. I talk to our star brothers and sisters, the Pleiadians, the insectoids, the elementals, the ancestors, the Lyrians. My name, Starlight, is my Arcturian higher self. The name Rainbow Eagle is my Pleiadian higher self, and they gave me that name in the Spirit. I am a minister, and I took vows as a bodhisattva, basically a Buddhist priest. It's called an awakened bodhisattva spiritual master. But anyway, the vows are, you can find them online. According to Atisha's Path of Enlightenment, I didn't take it from I took it from the spirit, not from. I did the vows with the spirit, not with the ordained Buddhist catechism, whatever. Anyway, I did train from the Dalai Lama for 3 days, or 4 days, I think, 3 days. And this was years ago. And I quit drinking 10 years ago. I've had abused as a kid, worked through trauma, worked through narcissist family, worked through even forgiving this guy that robbed me and all of these police and all this stuff. But I'm going to get into the premonition now. I told Spirit, who sat down with me here, and I asked who it was, and they said it was my higher self. And that it was time to make that choice. They showed me how people die and before their time, because as an awakened being, I'm 61 in human years, but I feel like I'm 19, and I have not aged in at least 6 or 7 years. In fact, I look better than probably I ever have in my life. I live outside and, really have a lot going on. And some nutcases yelling over here from off the dunes. There's thousands of people over those dunes right there on the beach. Anyway, what I'm going to say, hopefully I'll get this video uploaded. I've been out here living in the storms. I have $1 to my name for the past 3 weeks. But I got food, got a good place to sleep, Kind of got to keep an eye on my things sometimes. I have to walk 2 miles to get to indoor showers, and there's water nearby, but to get to the indoor showers or to buy a soft drink or anything like that, unless I buy it off a vendor truck during the day, is a 2-mile walk, and it's 2 miles to that bus that I ride. Anyhow, I asked Spirit, I cried and cried, and I faced the fact that, yes, of course we have to drop this body, and yes, I cried because I had prayed to die many times in my life before I awoke. But since I awoke now, I've asked a few times if it could just be over, but I think I was a lot less serious than the decades that I basically prayed for it in depression and drug abuse, which was just horrible. Especially, thank God I was able to overcome, and quit all that. It just, I can't tell you the difference between life as an awakened person and life in the darkness of not knowing about that the spirit is real, and that, I'm never alone, and that the angels always got my back. But I'm glad I got to say these things. Now, of course, maybe I'm getting it wrong, or maybe something else is going to change. Nothing's written in stone. And I told Spirit that I'm fine with it if it's in alignment with the highest good. And the fact is, we die sometimes just to touch people. And I started looking back on it, and I thought, look at all the stuff that's happened to me, and all the people that know what's happened to me, and no one can seem to be able to help me. Even as a homeless person, I can't get anywhere to stay. I don't have any money. I can't get Social Security. I worked since I was 8. 8. Me. 8 years old, I worked for him. But, I was a anti-authoritarian type person also. But anyway, if this should be the last video that I upload, then it will give a lot of proof to the spirit and all those people I touch who may get to see this one day, especially my children and grandchildren who I love so dearly, who I don't even know. And my dear mother, who's still alive, no matter what she did to me in the past. I played my part too. Although as a kid I had no choice. And sorry I couldn't put makeup on and stuff like that. This hit me, and I sat here talking with the Spirit for a good while. And then I was talking to the Spirit. I'm not going to go into everything that we said, but I said, drowned, and I hadn't really wanted to drown. And I had a friend who drowned it, and his spirit sat down here with me. He said, it's not so bad. And I laughed, and because he went pretty bad. He got hit by a car and face down drowned in a culvert at the side of the road, coming home from work, riding a bicycle at night. I knew the guy that hit him too. We both did. It was supposedly our drinking buddy or whatever. Oh God. Anyway, I give thanks. And I know if I die, it's going to touch a lot of people, and I want to tell you that I'll be back in the next life. And one of the Bodhisattva vows is to stay in existence till all sentient beings are awakened. But of course, in the fifth dimension, I can probably do a better job of it. And if I come back, I will be awakened at birth, because I've done the work. And I won't have to go through any more of this craziness, and I will have really accomplished so very much. So very much. For you, and for me, and for everyone. And hopefully you'll see me upload, because I'm not hoping to die. But hopefully you'll see me next week. But if you don't, you'll know that all this was so very real for me. You see, I've fallen in love with Mother Gaia now. And I don't want to go. But I want to help. And I know that one day I have to go anyway, and this is just as well. I have no one to upload this for me, so I have to do it myself. So you're going to see it probably while I'm still alive. And let's just hope that that's not what's going to happen. I can't say which would be worse, because living outside for 2.5 years and basically, people are kind to me because I live off of donations. But a lot of people are really shit to me too. And I know I've done a lot of healing and planted a lot of seeds, just like I did in my past lives. And I am a magnificent master. And Spirit just confirmed that. Oh, Mother, Father, I love you so very much. Your love is infinite and kindness is infinite. I thought while she was speaking of me, I asked, why are you telling me? And now I'm so grateful, because I realize all that I'm striving for, all that I will have to leave when I'm die. At least I have the lesson now of saying, really, really looking at it all of a sudden tonight and saying, what difference is any of this going to make if I die? Even just my food and stuff, And I said, well, I'm just trying to love myself and keep alive. But thy will be done, Mother, Father, which is the God within and my higher self, and loves me so very much. And we planned it together, that if I should awake. And they showed me everything. So thy will be done. That means nothing's written in stone. But even if I don't, I've had a hell of a realization from what happened to me. And I don't guess the Spirit would lie to me, but it may not be a lie. It may just be for me to awaken and see how unimportant some of The worries I've had have been like keeping this tent I bought together. It blew down on my head at one point. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with a vibration of awakened Buddha mind, Buddha speech, Buddha body, awakened mind, awakened speech, awakened body. Some people had invited me to their tent today, and they kicked me out because the guy didn't like that, I guess, the things I was telling his girlfriend, which he's a shit. Beat her up the other night. Anyway, it was a little bit of a kick in the gut. And I came here and I just threw all my food out, and I've washed a sleeping bag. I'm going to go get it in the back here. Anyway, in love and joy and oneness with the Creator, I leave you. I am the Starlight Rainbow Eagle, and I love you.